Hello and welcome to UC Today. My name is Kristian McCann and today's session is how to bring workers into the office and keep them there. Joining me to tell me all about it is John Ringis, Director of Physical Security, and Salik Makda, Director of Network Engineering at New Era Technologies. Thank you both for joining me today.
Thank you, Kristian.
Thank you, Kristian.
So, John, what is workplace readiness and why is it such a critical factor for successful RTO strategies?
Yeah, that's a good question, Kristian. So, let me answer that for you. And I think it's really an employer's readiness to provide a physical, technological, and a cultural environment that fully supports employees returning to the office. Fully supports. And I think there's really three ways that they need to focus on when they think about what full support looks like. And first of all, really making that facility safe and secure. We have employees in the workforce today that are coming and going from the office at different times of the day, different days of the week, some coming in on weekends. So we have a workforce that's no longer Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. So we need to make sure as that workforce is coming and going, they feel secure in the parking lot, secure in the building, that may or may not be fully utilized at that point in time. Number two, we need to ensure that they have reliable infrastructure. Working from home, we have fast internet, we have temperature control, we have lighting control, and we really need to emulate a lot of those pieces and parts and components when the employees do come into the office. So do we have adequate meeting rooms? Does the access control system work? Video surveillance work, visitor management, the network, the collaboration rooms. We need to ensure that those tools are functioning better in the workspace than they do for the employees at home. And then number three, I would kind of wrap this up by saying some well-defined processes. So what are the policies around getting support, whether I'm at home or in the office? Is it different? Is it the same? How do I book space? Right? How do I find a meeting room? How do I ensure that I have a desk that I'm able to use when I come into the office? And then I think that communication needs to be clear to visitors, clear to management, clear to facilities management to ensure that we're all there capable, ready, and able to support the employees that are coming and going from the office.
Well, room readiness, network readiness, space accessibility. Salik, how does this all contribute to employee productivity and satisfaction?
Hey, Kristian. So I'll start with room readiness, right? The room readiness is key because when employees walk into the office, that's what they actually physically see, right? So they see the environment, how the office space is built out, how the rooms or the desk spaces are built, right? So that's what they actually experience when they are there. The next piece being the network readiness, right? So when they walk in, as John mentioned earlier, they want to make sure they have reliable network or technology in the space. So when they walk in, they seamlessly connect to it. When they are collaborating or any applications, they communicate without any lags or drops, and just to have that seamless experience when these users have that at their homes today, right? And then with the space readiness and the access, it's all about the conference room spaces, the huddle room spaces, the hot desks, or that have been built out lately, that how they are ready to make sure they are able to accommodate the users that are returning back to office, not even giving them enough desk spaces, but also enough huddle room and conference room spaces as well, as the spaces have changed drastically how it used to be built out previously to now, where you don't necessarily have assigned seating, you have hot desking, right? And depending on how many people are coming into the office that day, based on your RTO policy, you want to make sure you have enough spaces available. And that will essentially tie back right into the employee productivity and satisfaction, right? If they are coming into the office, and they will be using collaboration applications, AV, wireless, and all of these applications have drastically changed since prior to COVID, right? All these applications used to be hosted on-prem and most of the locations. So when the users walks in, they connect to they go to the desk, which is hardwired, and start using any collaboration applications or phones that were on-prem, right? These days, the users have mobile devices, laptops, phones that are connecting using wireless, right? So the wireless density has gone up tremendously. Every user walks in with at least 2 pieces of hardware at a minimum that connects back to the wireless infrastructure and requires high-speed communication. Collaboration rooms or conference rooms, they are all using cloud-based technology today. So they all rely on high-speed internet services to make sure they have seamless or better user experience when they are on meetings.
You mentioned issues with like hot desking. I was wondering, what other challenges do organizations face in aligning this technological infrastructure they have with these evolving hybrid models we're seeing?
All right, so for employees to come back in, network readiness is non-negotiable, right? When the employees walk in, they demand a seamless user experience when they are collaborating, right? When they're collaborating, they want to make sure that the connectivity is stable, it has high bandwidth, so to avoid any lags, dropouts, or poor quality, right? They don't want to keep on losing audio while they are in a conversation. How do you achieve that? You want to make sure that your network infrastructure, both wireless, wired, and internet connectivity, can support all of these users coming back into the office, right? Today, most of the collaboration happens over applications, right? And which are on mobile devices, laptops, right? Be it Teams, Zoom, WebEx, Google Meet, whichever application. To join them, user just clicks a join now button or call button, and they are in that the collaboration space. They expect same or better experience when they are coming into the office, right, and want to try and join meetings. They want to just walk into a space, click a button, and be part of that meeting, right? They don't want to like mess around with the conference room system and the lighting, and they just want to walk in and the space is ready for the users. When they walk in, they press a button, they are part of that meeting. Users want better connectivity from when they are at home, right? So today, everyone has home wireless internet, which users continuously upgrade themselves, and they are using probably the latest wireless. Most of the offices didn't do any upgrades since like 2018, 2019, and if they did that, that is what they currently have today in the environment. And now if they want users to return back, now with their newer and better mobile devices, they want to make sure that the wireless infrastructure is upgraded to make sure that they have a seamless experience. The users don't want to like keep on authenticating and getting dropped out from the wireless connection regardless where they walk in the building, right? They don't want to keep on reconnecting again and again. Again, that takes away from that end user seamless, frictionless experience when they are in the office. And you want to provide them with better tools to make sure that when they are in office, they are more productive compared to when they are at home.
Okay. Well, you mentioned a lot of things there that can go into making a good office space. So how can companies implement this in a holistic way into a work readiness program that integrates its technical, spatial, and network factors?
So it starts with the assessment, right? So they want to do a current state mapping, make sure how your environment looks today, right? Just starting from the spaces, the furniture, the office layouts, the seating, collaboration tools, and back-end network infrastructure, accessibility, movability of users within the space. Do a detailed assessment on that, where they stand today. The next is to define the RTO policy and the goals, right? What are you really looking to achieve, or how you plan to give users a better experience when they are in office? How many users you may want to have in office, right? So you need to kind of have that strategy or plan built out, right? And then look at your collaboration space usage, your smart room technology you have deployed, your end user wireless, right? Because users just connect to wireless and they want it working. The back end internet connectivity, the network security, wireless security, and then the other places to look at is the building access management, the employee safety and security, right? So you need to make sure you map out all the goals under these technologies. Then interview key stakeholders and employees, right? So try to get some feedback from the employees. Hey, we're planning to return to office. What would you like to see when you walk back into the space, right? So get some feedback from either key stakeholders or some employees to define your RTO strategy, right? Then identify the gaps or where you are, where you want to be, and then use technology to kind of achieve those, right? So create an actionable roadmap for improvements, be it from your facilities, HR, IT, to make sure you have a plan in place for return to office.
John, so this return to office, with all these people coming in, what best practices can help them remain flexible and resilient as this workforce presence fluctuates?
Yeah, again, another great question. I think there's 3 or 4 things here we can focus on from a physical security perspective. And I would really promote standardize your physical security posture across all of your locations. In today's work environment, we have employees reporting to different offices, traveling to different offices, and we really need to strive to make that security posture consistent between those facilities. Consistency with access control, consistency with your space management software, right? Again, how am I going to find that desk or that huddle room that I need to use when visiting one of the remote offices? The visitor management software as well. How am I going to get my clients and visitors in and out of the office consistently and seamlessly between those offices? And the end result of that should be our employees feeling much more secure and having the confidence that they can report to an office and still conduct business much as they could from home. Another item that I would suggest that support teams really look into is consider leveraging these cloud-based physical security solutions that are available in the market today. They're really streamlining centralized management for all locations, really bringing all the disparate locations under one platform, really making that part of the job easier from a support perspective. So the support teams have immediate access to all of the locations through a single pane of glass. It allows for much faster deployment. So as we're opening and closing and moving sites and shutting down space and scaling space, these hosted applications make those moves, edge, and changes much simpler, much faster. Remote operations and efficiency. So being able to support local facilities with lockdowns and credential issues and camera issues, that really becomes a seamless process when we're leveraging these newer, latest cloud-based systems that are out on the market today. And all of these solutions, again, are bringing back analytics that provide the management and the leadership team insight into how those individual facilities are being used. So a much more seamless experience. It's faster. Our IT teams are remote as well. So giving them access to these hosted solutions can really kind of streamline supporting that consistent platform across all of the locations. I would add a couple more items to that. I would say really consider losing the physical card for your credential to get into your building. Really consider the mobile credential experience. Today, everybody carries their cell phone. We're not losing cell phones, but we're losing our cards to get in and out of the business. And those cards are expensive. And there's no guarantee that this card that I'm using in building A is going to work in building B. So really kind of by adopting this mobile credential philosophy, we're able to onboard and offboard employees quicker. We're able to save money by doing it. And we're allowed to, again, it helps us create that seamless experience between the different offices using a device that's always with us 24/7 that most people don't lose. And then I would wrap it up by saying, take the data that's available from these systems. You've made the investment to standardize access control and video surveillance and intrusion alarms and occupancy sensors. Utilize the data that's coming out of these systems. Who's in my building? When are they in my building? What rooms are they in? And how long are they there? That data can help the support team staff accordingly, to make sure those buildings are staffed and supported properly for the people that are in them. And they can also help management determine, do we need to expand the space? Can we shrink the space? Do we need more huddle rooms? So a lot of data becomes available as we use these newer, latest and greatest hosted solutions that are available to us.
Excellent. And lastly, John, how do workplace readiness initiatives contribute to business continuity and employee engagement across the modern enterprise?
Yeah, I think first of all, workplace readiness is probably one of the most strategic investments that can be made today for the modern workforce, right? Spending that money to create this environment that really incentivizes people to come back into the office and take advantage of this new workspace that's been created for them. When the buildings are secure, Kristian, when our meeting rooms are in place, our networks are in place and working, when the workspaces are available for me and consistently ready, the organization operates without interruption. It becomes a good collaborative workspace for our employees. And our employees begin to trust the workspace again. And I think at the end of the day, that's what we're after here. So when we do this, I think it strengthens business continuity and it boosts engagement. And at the end of the day, that's what we're after. We want the employees to come back, we want them to feel engaged, and we want to boost productivity. So in short, a workspace keeps the business moving and keeps our people engaged when it's done properly.
That's what we like to hear. So we'll end it there. Thank you very much, John and Salik, for taking the time to speak to me today.
Thank you,
Kristian.
And thank you to our audience for watching. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like and comment and subscribe so you can stay in touch with all our latest videos. I'm Kristian McCann. Until next time, see you then.